In this first session of reality therapy by William Glasser, the therapist and client have built rapport at this point. In this clip, the beginning of the WADEP system of reality therapy will be used, starting with exploring wants and then diving into direction and doing.
Yeah.
So, Claire, what brings you to therapy today?
Well, what brings me here basically is that I'm afraid of commitment in my relationship with men. The minute I hear the word relationship or a guy starts getting a little too clingy or basically not getting past the third date, that's like the longest I've ever dated. It's so pathetic. It's 3 dates. I run for the door. But deep down inside, that's what I want the most. Like, I want it. I want the commitment. I want, the white picket fence. Maybe not the 2.5 kids, but, I want that American dream, what every girl wants. But it's like the thing I want the most, I run away the most.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand why I'm that way.
Okay. Can you tell me about a situation where this has happened?
Yes, well, leading up to our first session today, I was dating 2 guys over the last month, and they were both great guys. One of them was a criminal defense lawyer, and the other one was a cardiologist. Like, great jobs, good looking, the kind of men that any girl would want to date, basically.
Okay, great.
And so the first one on our first date, this is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Okay, he brings me these lavish roses, beautiful, like every single color, even purple, which is my favorite color, as you can see. And so he's beaming, passing them to me as he comes to pick me up for the date. And I just give him this blank stare, and I'm just staring at the roses, and you could tell he was kind of shifting his weight and becoming uncomfortable, and any happiness or any smile is just gone from his face.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's the first date with this one guy that I actually liked. Okay, so on our second date with the other guy, he drops me off at home and walks me to my door, the gentleman thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then he leans in to give me a goodnight kiss, and I slap him. So hard, his head almost spins off his neck. And then I run for my door and just slammed it in his face. And I collapsed on the couch and just started sobbing uncontrollably. I couldn't believe I did that. I just froze up. I didn't know what to do.
Wow. So it sounds like you've been unable to commit in your past relationships. You've had some very bad experiences that you wish hadn't have happened. And what you want is just to be able to commit.
That is what it is.
Okay. You want to change this.
Definitely.
Sounds like you have a need for love and belonging.
Yeah, deep down inside I do. I want to be loved and I want to love someone. I want to start a future with someone.
And what do you want to get out of therapy?
I want to learn how to overcome this and not be this way.
I know that you had mentioned commitment. How do you define commitment? Or a committed relationship?
Well, I guess what it boils down to is being with the same person, being able to be myself, not having to pretend to be someone else, and it's just comfortable.
What would a committed relationship look like to you?
Someone who's not going to let me down, calls when he says they're going to call, and this goes back to my earlier memories. If I stop and think where it comes from, why I'm afraid of commitment, possibly could be my dad.
Okay.
When I say I want someone who calls, when they say they will and will be there, is my dad would make all these promises and never deliver. Can you believe he actually lost me in Disney World one day? He didn't even notice I was missing until they called him on the loudspeaker.
Wow.
I was 6 years old and I waited for I think almost 8 hours.
It must have been so frustrating for you and so scary.
It was traumatizing. I remember it to this day. Still mad at him for it. Then when I was a teenager, I just remember this one incident. He's like, oh, take my credit card, go buy a nice dress, I'll take you out to your favorite restaurant, blah, blah, blah. So I get all dressed up. I even went and got my hair done. Then I'm sitting waiting for him. An hour goes by, 2 hours. Then finally my phone rings and he's like, I'm so sorry, honey, I had to fly to Budapest on business. I promise I'll make it up to you. I'll be back in a couple weeks. Couple weeks. I'd go years without hearing from him.
Wow. It's really tough on you. So it sounds like your dad would make promises and not follow through on them.
Absolutely, and I think that's what I think men will do, is that they'll make promises and not deliver. So I just end it before I can get hurt. It's easier that way.
So you believe that your past is directly related to what's going on in your dating life right now.
I think so.
In our next session, let's figure out how you can make a plan to change these patterns in the future.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
In this session, Lisa and Claire will finish the direction and doing stage and evaluate Claire's behavioral direction, specific actions, wants, and plan. Go.
So Claire, what do you see for yourself now and in the future?
Well, right now, ideally, I would like to be dating someone, and eventually, I would hope that it progressed to marriage,
Okay.
finding the right one.
Okay. Sounds like you've thought about this a lot since we last met. Did you do anything different this week?
You're gonna kill me. Well, all right. I guess I'll just tell you. I was dating this cute guy. Well, not really date. I had a date, is what I'm trying to say. And so I got all dressed up to go, and I was really excited. Bought a new dress, got my hair done, all that. And then an hour before the date, I just canceled for no reason.
Okay.
I looked in the mirror. I just didn't look right. My hair was frizzy. The outfit didn't look right. I felt bloated. And then the more I started thinking about it, the more I started feeling bad about it. I started feeling like really anxious, and then I felt sad and mad at the same time. I felt sad that I was feeling that way in the first place, and then I felt mad at myself for canceling the date.
Right. Well, Claire, let's not focus on feelings and instead focus on what we can do about it.
Okay.
So we want to change your actions with regard to that date and future dates. What do you think you could do to change the direction of the situation with regards to this particular guy?
Well, I guess I could just call him up and reschedule the date. Could do that.
Is that something you think you want to do?
Not really, but I think it's something I should do.
Okay. All right. So is this something that we can set as a plan, or are you not ready to do that yet?
Sure, let's do it. I'll call him tomorrow and
Okay.
reschedule the date for next week.
Excellent. So let's make it a plan. Let's set it in stone. Do you mind if we put it in writing?
Not at all.
Excellent. Well, I have a pen right here, and I'm just going to write this out on this paper. And if you could just sign, that way we have it concrete.
Sure.
Excellent. Session.
Now Claire and Lisa will finish treatment with the planning and action process by having Claire commit to her plans and follow through to bringing change into her life.
Claire, look at you. You're all dressed up. Your face. You look like a completely different person. What happened since the last time you came to therapy? It's been a couple weeks.
Where do I start? So much has happened. Thank you, by the way. Do you like my new dress?
I love it. Can I see it a little better? Beautiful.
So, this guy and I are going on our 4th date. Can you believe it?
Wow.
That is the longest standing. I've never gotten past the 2nd date, so
Excellent.
very excited.
Okay.
So basically what happened is, I'm really glad that I followed my plan, by the way. I didn't even wait until the next day, actually. The minute I walked out of your office.
The next day to
remember?
call him,
Mhm.
right? Wow, okay.
Yeah, remember we had written that down that I was going to call him the next day?
Mhm.
I just couldn't wait. Something inside of me was screaming, just do it now, just get over your fear, pick up the phone. So I just did it. I picked up the phone, dialed his number. He picked up on the first ring.
Mhm.
He didn't seem mad at all.
Excellent.
And he said, what are you doing tomorrow night? And I said, nothing. And so we went on a date. He took me to an Indian restaurant with belly dancers. And then we went ice skating.
Sounds exciting.
Mhm.
Sounds like you've been having a lot of fun and you've made a
I
lot
have.
of progress.
Thank
Wow.
you. And then after that, we went on another 2 dates. So, well, that's why I'm all dressed up, because we're going on our 4th date tonight.
Really?
So, and each date was better than the other. And I can honestly say that I can really be myself. I don't think I've ever let anyone know the real me before until
Wow.
this guy. He's just absolutely amazing.
So you're being very much yourself with him and you're enjoying it.
For the first time in my life, yeah.
And you've not been scared of commitment this time.
You know, I haven't even been thinking about that, but you're right. I haven't.
What would you say if this progressed to maybe 6 dates and he started talking more seriously? How do you think you'd think about that?
I haven't given it that much thought. I just kind of let it run its course. But now that you're asking me that question, I feel really comfortable with this guy, and I think I could go down that road with him.
You seem so much more confident.
I am. Thank you.
You
for
must be
helping
so
me.
proud of all your progress.
I am.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so we've just finished our therapy, Reality Therapy by William Glasser, and we want to let you guys know this is actually taken from a real client story. We modified it and changed it a little bit, added a few things, but generally this is a real story, and it's actually from a show that I'm sure all of you have heard of, reality TV called The Bachelor, and we're going to show you a clip of that. It's going to be a clip of the client actually talking about it himself, and the thing that you need to know before we show you the clip is that he has just, at this point, he's talking about what happened to him. He went through therapy, and he's just dumped the 2 women. So that's the part that didn't make it into our clip, but he's dumped these 2 women, and he's now starting to evaluate what happened in his life that got him to that point and why he couldn't come